It's Sunday, December 28th, 2014, and I'm Jim Sullivan with your NeoWeather.com video forecast. We are socked in the clouds as of 11:30 in the morning. However, any rain or snow have pulled off to the east. There could be a few sprinkles or flurries on the snow belt. That should be about it for the rest of the day. Temperatures pretty steady in the mid to upper 30s. Taking a look across the entire country now, there's a large shield of clouds and some rain across the eastern United States, still pretty mild in the southeast. However, the rest of the country is gradually getting colder, temperatures below zero in the northern plains. Arctic air moving into the country for the first time in a few weeks. There is some snow across the Intermountain West, and a pretty potent disturbance might actually bring some snow to Las Vegas New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. Other than that, though, there isn't anything too significant going on across the country today. Coming back to Cleveland, looking at the numbers, yesterday we hit 54-41, well above the normals of 35 and 23. Records for today are 68 and 3 below zero. We saw 3/100 of an inch of rain at Hopkins through midnight. We saw a little over a quarter inch after midnight. Still running a little bit below normal on the monthly precipitation, well above normal on the year, though. Sunset tonight is at 5 after 5. So for the rest of today, we'll call things mostly cloudy, temperatures continuing to hold steady in the mid to upper 30s. There could be a flurry or sprinkle downwind of the lake, but nothing really too heavy today at all. This evening, there could be a little bit more drizzle, especially downwind of the lake, but we're hoping that ends before temperatures fall below freezing. It'll be mostly cloudy through the night tonight, with low temperatures in the upper 20s to near 30. Taking a look ahead now on one of our forecast computer models, the rest of this afternoon, again, mainly dry, mainly maybe a spit of drizzle or a flurry downwind of the lake. Now this evening, there will be a bit of a wind shift, and as that happens, that might help, again, a little bit of drizzle to develop downwind of the lake. Hopefully that ends after midnight. This model doesn't spit anything out, but it's a somewhat lower resolution model, so it might not pick up on that. As we head through the day Monday, we are stuck in the northerly flow, so it'll be a little bit cooler Monday than it is even today, and there will probably be some clouds off the lake, although I kept the forecast dry. As we head into Monday night, should stay mainly dry until late when a disturbance starts moving in from the west, and that disturbance might give us the added moisture we need to start seeing some lake effect by Tuesday morning. This is Tuesday morning. Maybe a little bit of late lake effect starting to develop, and then during the day, Tuesday, that disturbance goes by. The winds start gradually shifting from the northeast to a more northwesterly direction, so we'll have to see. There might be an inch or so of snow in some of the higher terrain on Tuesday, downwind of the lake, with some flurries elsewhere. As we head into Tuesday night, the winds start taking on a more traditional west to northwest direction, so that is when the true snow belt probably stands its best shot at seeing some snow Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and there could be maybe some moderate snow in this time frame. Nothing too heavy, though. Amounts will probably generally be under 4 inches for the whole event from Tuesday morning through Wednesday morning, so really nothing to write home about. However, we've seen so little snow lately, it might be a bit of a shock to the system. Then as we head towards Wednesday evening, the winds go southwest. That'll push any lake effect up towards Buffalo, leaving us pretty much dry for any New Year's Eve festivities you may have planned. Looking ahead on one of our bigger picture forecast computer models now, cooler air will gradually spill in over the next day or so, and there's a little kink in the jet stream riding by to our south tonight that won't bring us any precipitation that's too far south, but you can see the cooler air gradually working in, and there's a large trough starting to build in the western United States, a very potent piece of energy riding from north to south. That will be our main thing to watch later in the weekend into the weekend. You can see, though, the northern half to two-thirds of the country is going to be pretty chilly. This is by Tuesday, and that's going to persist for a few days. Now, this is when it gets interesting. The model is going to start developing a pretty potent upper level low pressure system here over the desert southwest, and that could produce snow in Las Vegas New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. Probably nothing too heavy, but they don't see snow there very often. And look at this cold across the eastern United States. It will be cold enough for some lake effect, as I was just talking about. Now, what's going to happen as we head towards the latter portions of the work week is this piece of energy will slowly swing out of the southwest as the cold briefly backs off, for Friday and Saturday. So what'll happen is it's a bit uncertain how quickly this energy swings out of the southwest, and how quickly the cold pulls out will determine if there's any snow or mixed precipitation when the system finally does move east. Again, our models are varying in how quickly this moves out of the southwest, and once you get a storm system that is closed off like this, you can see there's just a isolated circle completely detached from everything else. The models really struggle with it, and this is still 6 to 7 days out. But you can see the cold air very nearby, so the precipitation type forecast for Friday and into Saturday as this system tries to move our way is still pretty uncertain. I think eventually some of this warmer air down here, will win out and will eventually change terrain, but there could be some snow or ice before that change terrain occurs. Now, looking at the whole continent now, you can see why there's some very cold air. This is a ridge of high pressure, a large one extending all the way up to the North Pole, allowing some very cold air to crash into Canada. This right here over Hudson Bay, that is the polar vortex that you heard so much about last winter. It's not really all that close to Ohio, but it's close enough that there is a huge reservoir of cold to our north, so we might see a bit of a up and down weather pattern with some active weather starting at the end of this week and beyond. So, 7 day forecast time now. We're going mostly cloudy but dry for Monday. High temperatures in the low to mid 30s. A little bit of light lake effect could develop late Monday night through Tuesday, with some slightly better lake effect possibly occurring on the east side Tuesday night into Wednesday before ending. Accumulations shouldn't be too heavy, but there could be enough to plow, and it'll get cold by the middle of the work week. Highs on Wednesday only in the low to mid 20s, overnight lows in the teens. Areas outside of town could get colder than the 19 I have there. Thursday it'll be brisk, but at least we'll see some sunshine before we watch the system for the end of the work week and into next weekend. With NeoWeather.com, I'm Jim Sullivan. Check us out again tomorrow.